recording. What's your tag and how long have you been playing?
I am CinderZ. I've been playing for just over a year now.
Okay, and what's your goal right now?
I want to be the sickest puff in the world.
Wow, that is
And
go on. It's okay.
I want to be the sickest puff in the world, and I want to be the most aggressive puff in the world.
Wow, it's actually funny because, like, I feel like there's, like, two sides of the coin. Some people start that way and some people don't. I definitely started that way. It's definitely a hard task to be, like, consistently aggressive in good spots. It's like, you have to pick your battles a lot. I don't think any puff that's, like, very good is, like, aggressive, necessarily. Like, I'd probably say I'm, like, the most aggro puff on the top 100, but obviously I'm very biased, so there's that. But yeah, no, it's definitely a sick goal. You'll definitely see, like, what it means in terms of, like, keeping the aggressiveness, like, the better you get.
Yeah.
And then for the Falco matchup, like, what's your, like, thoughts on it right now?
I hate laser because laser makes it hard to approach, but I feel like anytime I hit him off the stage, it's a free kill, so I can't hate it too much.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, if you're trying to do, like, the aggressive type style in this matchup, sometimes it'll work in terms of, like, you'll get, like, a random grab, a random up air or something like that, and it will kill if you just, like, spam approach over and over again, but realistically, this matchup's a lot about, like, staying outside of ranges, and not necessarily being defensive, but, like, using a lot more baiting type of gameplay, like drift away, wave dash back, type of stuff in terms of, like, there's not many aggressive lines you can take, because crossing up Falco is pretty bad, because if he's facing forward and you, like, cross up his shield, he literally just gets a free back, you got a shield, and that just sucks. And then, like, even, like, crossing up in the air is pretty hard too, because his down air is just insanely active, like, off of a full hop, and he can basically, like, go anywhere on the screen with, like, one jump against Puff. And so yeah, it gets pretty hard in terms of, like, keeping the aggressive type of situation, but there's definitely still spots to pick. Also, it's like, definitely this is the matchup where, like, risk reward is, like, pretty exemplified. It's like a pretty, like, blanket term for Jigglypuff, like, oh, spam risk reward over and over again, but realistically it's like, as long as you're going for a kill every time you hit Falco, or, like, something that, like, maybe, like, 3 steps in to the sequence will lead to a kill, then, like, that's good. But if you're going for something that'll never get a kill, then it's, like, bad. Is, like, kind of how this matchup works. Positioning wise, it's like, you don't want to be on the ground, which, like, you don't really use the platforms, like, at all, which, like, is not that good in this matchup.
It's a recent thing I learned, that I can just fuck around on platforms and just mix people up.
Yeah, in this matchup, it's weird, because, like, whenever you see H-Box play against Fox or something like that, he'll just, like, literally be sitting on the platforms, wave dashing around, jumping away, type of gameplay, and that, like, doesn't necessarily work versus Falco. It's more of, like, a place to rest, if that makes sense. It's like a rest stop in a race.
You can take a break.
Yeah, you just sit there for a second, get your jumps back, which is really important. The less jumps you have, then the less potential drift you have, less height you can get, especially height's really important versus Falco. So it's like, whenever you're low on jumps, or, like, it's also just, like, a starting point too, in terms of neutral, because, like, being on the ground is so bad in this matchup, because you just get spammed by laser and you just die. It's like not like a... It's weird, because in other matchups, when you're on the ground, it's like, oh, it's very clear how I can instantly die. It's like, oh, if I'm on the ground versus Fox, I can get run up shined, I missed the tech, he tech chase, I'll smash me, or grabs me, or something like that. Or, like, let's say it's Sheik just runs up, grab me on the ground, when I'm, like, stuck in shield or something like that. Or, like, Falcon, he throws out a short hop knee on the ground, and I, like, wave dash back into it, or something like that. Or, like, jump into it. But, like, this matchup's not clear, because, like, Falco is just so slow on the ground, comparatively to every other character that's, like, scary for Puff. So it's, like, laser just basically, like, mitigates that speed difference. It's, like, whenever you get stuck on the ground with laser, it's, like, what Falco wants, because, like, hitting you out of the air a bunch, like, eventually Falco will win that, but, like, realistically, Falco wants to get like the most amount of damage off an opening, and they can't do that if you're in the air over and over again. So it's like a lot of trying to avoid being in bad spots on the ground next to Falco, or like even at a medium range, like in disadvantage. But yeah, that's like a blanket start before I go into the set. Also,
Yeah.
Since this isn't Slippy, I can't look at the statistics in terms of your L cancel percentage, but I feel like you definitely miss like more L cancels than I'm like noticing, especially in like up air. I'm noticing. I feel like you miss either the L cancel or the fastball.
The two are down air and up air. I'm not 100% consistent on that in some fairs, but I also know I can sometimes do a lazy fair because I kill them.
Yeah. But yeah, let me get into it now. In terms of openers, you never really want to like jump back like this against like any character pretty much. You always want to be trying to be aggressive off an opener. So against Falco, I would be jumping off the platform. And the reason I want to say like, I wouldn't say waveland off the platform. You'll see like Hungrybox do that versus Fox. The difference in there is that you want to be faster against Fox because of he's faster too. But against Falco, you can play his pace, so you don't have to like waveland off the platform type of situations. So I would just jump off the platform towards Falco. If he sits on the platform shooting lasers, I can just literally back air that. If he goes to the ground, then I can start trying to get close to Falco on the ground in advantage in terms of like, I weave around his laser timing. So if he shoots a laser and I'm right here, I land right after the laser and try and get a grab, or try and get like, if he's above like 30%, I go for a dash attack or something like that. Or like a backer in the corner. So like, that's like kind of what my objective is right now. But since it's at 0, I pretty much really want like a Nair grab. Like that's like, you'll see that spammed a lot by Hungrybox. He'll just like spam Nair grab over and over against Falco. It's really good when Falco's facing forward, because when Falco's facing forward, his up tilt isn't that good of a hitbox to actually beat the Nair. And then he doesn't have his back air as well too. Those are like the main two tools to beat your Nair. So whenever Falco's facing forward, you want to be Nairing almost always, because Nair also can lead to Nair rest. If you like, Falco shoots a laser and you Nair like right when the laser is like coming out, then you could potentially just Nair rest him because he'll be in the air, he'll lay on the ground and get rested. That's like a pretty common one too. It's really good in this matchup. It's like the only matchup I think Nair rest is like a legit mix-up and not just like a hope it happens. But yeah, that's like what I'm thinking of in terms of like the start. And then what happened here? I think you just get lasered. Okay, so once I get lasered right here, I'm just jumping away. Like I said, I don't want to get locked on the ground by lasers, so I'm just jumping away, back airing. I do not want to go towards him in this situation. I could like try and like Wavedash forward and like try and grab a timing of it down air, but that's just like such a hard read that's like not really worth it. Whereas like when you're like trying to like bait and stuff like that, it's more about reacting to it and like positioning yourself outside of range and then reacting, whereas going like a Wavedash forward type of sequence is like a read. So at the start of the game, I don't really feel like reading right now. So I'm just jumping away. But you go for a take laser fair, which is like good as a situation. That's your only option basically after like getting hit by lasers to fair out of it. But it's really not good when you're far away, because like then the fair isn't going to hit anything. And if it does, it'll just be a weak fair. So that's why you got hit here. I feel like you have a pretty big habit out of Hitstun to like try and like, I don't want to say get the hit immediately, but you think that you can like get a hit with a move that will just never work. Like Pound out of Hitstun doesn't really make sense, because Pound is like one of your slowest like options to actually hit people with. So if you want to do a move out of Hitstun, it's always going to be like down air. But if they're like above you, like Falco is in this sequence, you could potentially have gone for like a double jump up air out of Hitstun. I don't really know if I really agree with it here. It's like pretty sketch. But generally, whenever you're doing out of Hitstun stuff, you do drill, because it's your fastest aerial. But it wouldn't have been applicable here. You would just try and get out of the way as soon as possible. Okay, so you whiff the Pound, and then you try and like grab here. So I think if you didn't Pound, this grab idea would have been pretty good. Like, let's say you just drifted this way and then drifted back right outside of Falco's range. I think this idea would be really good. But because you put yourself in Pound lag, it's just like, it's way harder to actually consistently get this grab. If you were just like on the ground already, then it would be a lot easier to get this grab. But you had to put yourself in shield because you were scared, and then you reacted too late because you thought you were going to get hit initially, and then you go for the shield grab. It's like, If you just weren't in lag at all, then it would be a lot easier to get that. Okay. I agree with this. Okay, so this is like a medium range on the ground, and it's like kind of neutral. It's kind of not. I'd probably say like, I'll say it's kind of neutral. Falco in the corner is really weird compared to every other character where he's kind of strong there if you're on the ground, because then you can just fire lasers at you. At this range, you can probably still jump away back air. If you get hit by a laser, you can probably still jump away before Falco can hit you again. So that's what I'd be doing here. I don't really agree with Wavedash back in terms of low percents. When you're below like 31%, I think is when downer knocks down, Falco is going to be spamming way more lasers. It's like 80% lasers and like 20% aerials. So like the Wavedash back stuff is really good when downer knocks down because they're going to be using more aerials than they're going to be using lasers. So like Wavedash back basically only gets you stuck in shield and stuck in laser stun here, so it's like not the best. And then also like sometimes they will go for these types of nairs. As if you did another Wavedash back here, that would have caught it too. So it's something to watch out for. I assume he's tried to roll away, which would have been pretty good. So hard to comment on that. Yeah. I feel like like you were saying earlier, you definitely go for a lot of fairs. I don't really like weak fair. Like realistically, all these types of fairs that you do almost always will be a weak fair. And like weak fair doesn't combo into anything against like fast followers unless it's like literally like 90%, then it combos into like a rest maybe or like another fair. So these types of weak fairs aren't that great. What I would do instead here is I would just double jump, waveland on the platform, and then I would start like trying to like come down, choose my different timings and back air the corner, try and land next to him with like an up tilt or a grab. That's what I'd be thinking about here. Whenever I am recovering, that's just a general thing for Puff. I would just be turning around and just trying to back air.
Yeah, I've started doing that. Yeah,
it's just way better for sure. This man just went for the Fiction versus Axe and just literally died. Really good.
The best of them.
Yeah, really good pound choice too. If he was at higher percent, this pound would not be as good. You'd probably have to go for like a weak fair type of situation, or like a strong fair would also not work because you just don't want them to be able to tech the ledge. So good pound choice. Okay. Don't think he had to go for this pound. Honestly, it was a little bit scary. This is a recognition thing for sure.
That is one of my terrible habits. Is I love pound from ledge and pounding to ledge, and I know I need to stop doing it.
Yeah. I'll get to a point where it actually kills you, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever it's Invincible Falco, I don't really like going to ledge ever. I like using like Turtle Winner at the start before he's like even down, and then getting high up without using jumps. I like that a lot because, especially putting myself off stage or like putting myself all the way above here, so Falco has a hard time reaching me. And if he tries to commit at me, I could like drift left or right and like up air after he goes for the down air, like I was talking about earlier with the pound sequence. That would be good. Just because on the ledge, like he could snipe the ledge from you, or he can like do a safe downer at ledge and kill you, and both of those are like not great. So just trying to risk the least for sure. Okay, you did like a fair on the center, but yeah, if you're gonna do this, like just do an up air at all. I'd also like turn around back here this type of spot as well too, but because you knew he was above you, you should have just gone for up air for sure. I really like the shield grab. This is a good shield grab because you were hard reading that the Falco was thinking that you were going to wave dash away or roll away and was trying to cover that. So I really like this shield grab. This is a good example of a shield grab. But I don't like this weak fair. You can definitely combo this with a short hop dash up air.
I think I just reacted too slow on that one.
Yeah, it's like you definitely should know that most of the time against Falco, it's a lot easier with Falco to DI away because of his fall speed. So it's like you should be basically expecting them to do this type of DI, and like it shouldn't even really be a reaction, more of like a read. But yeah, you can definitely go for it up right there. Also, you have a big habit whenever you whiff, or like even when you hit the weak fair, you go for like falling up air every time, which like is technically like the best thing that can ever happen after getting a weak fair on someone is you can get a falling up air on them, but it almost never works. So like after I hit that weak fair, I'm like expecting them to be on the ground. I probably landing this close is a little bit scary because he could have potentially gone for like a short hop downer instead of doing this weird air dodge. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume he didn't do the weird air dodge and he's just sitting right here. Potentially could have gone for a short hop downer. I would land right here when that's the short hop downer range and then to try and grab that. That's like what I would be doing. If I ever weak fair someone, I'm gonna be outside of their range trying to react to what they do after. Okay, and then you try and go for like another grab. Pretty similar to the pound grab you did earlier where you like didn't hit the opponent and you put yourself in lag and actually didn't get the grab but you like kind of wanted to. But this is like a pretty standard like RTC rest for sure.
Yeah.
I like the wave dash back too because he's in the corner. So like out of the corner he's gonna do only a few options. He'll do short hop laser out of the corner. He can potentially dash, but dash is pretty bad with Falco because of his run speed. The short hop down air, jump, roll in, or spot dodge, or stay in shield. And yeah, this beat like two out of like the 5 options. This is pretty good. But yeah, this should just be a definite RTC rest.
Yeah.
Were you trying to forward out here, like intentionally?
I do not think so. I usually go for up airs on platform. I've started to RTC a lot more, but this was, you'll see in this set, I like to fucking up air after my up throws.
Yeah.
And I was probably trying to do an up air, but I miss input.
Yeah, I was just making sure this wasn't like an intentional fair for sure. Yeah.
No.
Up air made
I
sense.
never do that fair. That I don't know any combo that would start.
Yeah, because especially since fair doesn't knock down as well too, so it does not work.
Yeah.
Okay, this up air is really good to get back to center. Pretty much there's nothing Falco could do there fast enough to actually hit you. This was good. I like drifting this way, so I would keep drifting right, but you go for this fair, which doesn't really make sense. If I'm gonna try and hit Falco in this position, again, I'm hitting it with up air. I don't know if like some of these fairs are probably misinputs, but some of them I feel like are intentional that you're just like clicking fair for sure.
Yeah.
So I would definitely just like be more conscious about like where my position is relative to Falco.
Yeah.
Okay, you get out of it because you try and go for the weak fair up air thing again, which doesn't obviously work. But okay. Yeah, like this is what like this is how crazy like, you know, fairing your way back on the stage is really bad. A lot of like the offstage game in terms of every matchup is like you're not really trying to like hit the opponent to get back. It's more about like
scare them away.
I don't want to say scare away necessarily. It's more about like making them scared of committing against you, because if they commit with like an aerial or something like that and go too high or go too like far off stage, they can get like up aired or they can get back aired out of it or something like that. Like that's like the whole like point of like getting down. It's like making them scared of like committing against you. Then you get basically a free platform or a free edge or a free stage, or like being able to cross them up if they go for a hard commit and you're and you can just take center on them, which is also really good too. You should just roast out shield that for sure. That was a definite free roast. Okay, so I don't like this shield grab. I think this one was way different. So just trying to shield grab like anything that comes on your shield against like Falco is like, okay, so I talked about risk order earlier. This isn't like horrible risk order wise, because you miss the shield grab. Usually the worst thing that can happen is you either get down aired here or you get shined. This Falco somehow didn't punish the shield grab at all, or you can potentially get forward smashed if they drift away that back air a little bit more, which is like the worst thing actually that can happen. Usually you can't get it on back air. Most time it's on down air. But yeah, it's technically not the worst shield grab, but like if you're gonna go for a shield grab, it's more about like getting a wave dash back or a wave dash forward and like messing up their timing. Whereas like this was just like landing and putting yourself in shield and not doing either of those options. So there's no mix up in timing. Falco knew exactly where you're gonna be, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
don't really like pound unless it's like shield drop or waveland off pound most of the time, because when you get these pounds like this, pretty much they never lead to something like that is going to be a kill. Maybe best case scenario, Falco landed right here on the side and doesn't get a slide off, and that's like the best case scenario that could happen. But realistically, they're going to DI off stage, and then there's just like nothing productively you can do. They have so many mix-ups here that it's really hard to cover all of them. It's like, I actually like this up tilt as like an option. This was like fine. You could do grab in the spot too instead of up tilt. Sometimes that's better based on percent. Up tilt's fine. But yeah, it's like they have way too many mix-ups, so just like pounding in these types of situations is not that good. You do another like nair out of shield. In this situation, you can just up smash out of shield after shine. It's a hard read, but you're hard reading anyways with nair. So if you're hard reading, you should just be going for the highest reward option, which is up smash in this position.
Yeah.
Okay. This is another like shield grab, like with nothing like productively happening. So you land, try and shield grab. And that one was like super ambitious too, because like if they hit your shield, I'm pretty sure they shield poked you because your shield is really small. So if my shield was that small, I don't really want to be putting myself in like shield mix-ups. So I'd probably be buffer rolling anyways as well too. Okay. Another fair back on, which is really scary. Good turnaround backer, that was really good. Right here in these types of jumps, just land on platform, and then you get your jumps back, and that's really good. You could waveland off the platform if you think he's gonna be knocked down. It was ambiguous whether he was gonna actually be knocked down by that backer too. He could have DI'd up and potentially not got knocked down there. So I do like a waveland off the platform here for sure to get your jumps back. And you would have also been further with him too because of the momentum.
Yeah.
So that's really good. If you're gonna hard read jumps out of the corner, definitely a higher percent, just choose back air, because like again, just weak fair doesn't even combo. It's crazy. It's 90%.
Still even knock him down.
Still isn't combo or knock down, so it's like horrible for sure. Yeah, if you're just gonna read jumps at higher percent, just use back air. Obviously, if it's lower percent, then up air would be better. Okay. Trying to figure out what happened here productively. Okay, you hit him off stage again since he doesn't have knockdown. This fair doesn't was really weird.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I describe this fair? You don't really want to put yourself off stage versus Falco if he has a lot of time in his recovery. If he has less time, it's okay to go off stage versus Falco, but if he has a lot of time, it's really bad because his just rising downer here should just kill you every time. But he doesn't go for it. You should literally be dead right now, but you were living. So if I was in a sequence, I would not be off stage, and I would position my fair right here. So even if I get downered, I cannot die unless I like hard DI right for no reason.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's just really important. Okay, you're going up. Okay, try and fair yourself on the stage again. In these types of situations, whenever you're like right outside of the opponent's range, but you react late to them like whiffing an aerial or something like that, they are gonna click shield almost like, I don't want to say 100% of the time, but a stupid amount of high percentages of the time they will click shield. So in this spot, because it's such high percent, I would probably just go for a down air instead of a fair and try and shield poke him, the back of him, or I would just landing grab, either or, but they're pretty good. Fair out of shield's pretty scary, especially when Falco has his back to you, so I would just advise to not do that. Instead here, I would probably, you're in such a bad spot because you landing fared. I would probably wave dash back to ledge is like probably the only option you actually have to avoid danger here. Like this fair should like probably not work. You should have gotten up tilted or back aired, but it does work. Okay. Again, doing a back air makes more sense. But because he decided to try and crouch cancel here, okay, you go for the fair up air thing again. So the reason why this fair up air doesn't work this time, even though like you're in his face, is because you never clicked grab. So especially when like the threat right now for Falco is getting like back aired or something like that, so he's off stage. So he's going to be shooting a lot more. Also, because you haven't clicked grab even at any other percentages besides shield grabs, then he's not going to be scared of getting grabbed anyway. So he's going to click shield here like every time. So that's something to think about. Basically, anytime you go for these types of up airs and they whiff, you should be going for grab the next time, or going for grab the first time based on the percents. Most percents, they are going to, like, either, it depends, like, I like low percent Falco, they don't want to shield that much, because then they can die. That's the only thing that kills them, I mean. But, like, these higher percentages, the only thing that really kills them is back air, so they don't want to be like not shielding. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what you tried to do here. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, what'd you?
I think I was trying to read him coming down with an aerial.
Okay. Well, I think that's just like a
Dash back, smash it.
yeah. I feel like you
ambitious to say the least.
I noticed this later in the game, but I feel like sometimes in your hard reads you do them way too early, or like not like reacting to how much, or like recognizing how much hit stun that your opponent is gonna be in. Like in this situation, there's literally they're still in hit stun right now. Like right when they jumped right there, that was basically frame 1 of them out of hit stun, and you did the forward smash like before the hit stun was even done. If that makes sense. So like there's no way they could have gotten hit by this even if they like dropped down immediately. So that's something to like okay, so a lot of reads on how they work in Melee is like sometimes they have to be preemptive, but sometimes you're reading and then also confirming that your read is correct. Another example of this,
I get what you're saying.
Okay. I was just saying another example of it is like basically whenever you're going for like a read on like tech in place and you're going for a rest on that, it's you're reading it, but you're also reacting to the fact that they take a place. Okay, you get a backer anyways. It's fine. Landing here is really good too. It's right outside of range. This Wavedash back is really good, but you don't click grab for some reason, which would have been great. Again, because they're high percent, they are going to shield. And potentially, if you F smash first instead of wave dash backing, that would have worked. But honestly, they still probably should have clicked shield right away, anyways. So, okay. I don't really like full hop aerials like this because it only hits jump out of shield and jump like out of the corner. I mean, whereas like most of the time, they've shown at least that they aren't jumping anymore after getting hit by that fair sequence. So I would just be doing short hop auto cancel back airs and just being safe poking and landing outside of the range so they can't like short hop down at you after it, if that makes sense. So that's what I'd be doing right now. But doing this like falling back air doesn't really work that well because they could potentially hit you out of shield here. You go for this crazy jump read. It's actually insane. That was crazy. You go for the jump read, and then this time you actually are late on your read. It's actually crazy. So now, okay, they're just out of hit stun, like, I would say about there, and you haven't actually gone for your Upsmash yet, which is crazy how, like, the last time you were super early and this time you were super late. Potentially you could also try and just, like, if you want to hard read this option, but, like, you want to do it a little bit safer, or you're, like, not sure about timing-wise, you can just space outside of the down air range and then try and grab them shielding after, is what I usually do if I'm not 100% certain that I'm going to be able to time it well, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, get it back here. This didn't really make sense why you did the wave dash back. I think this is also another recognition thing. Like, you do this wave dash back here, and I'd say about now, like right there, they were able to do anything on a hit stun. So again, like you did this like way too early on a hard read that they're going to side B in before they were even out at hit stun. So now that they see you doing this, there's no way they are going to side B in unless they're like a maniac for sure. So they just react to you landing there and they just side B at you. Somehow you actually win this exchange, which is crazy. I would just try to be in crouch if I expect Falco to side B on stage here, so you can crouch cancel what they do. It was definitely very scary, the fact they weren't in crouch here. But you definitely hard read the first time, and then you reacted, so that's good. Down smash doesn't really make sense there. I'd probably just forward smash, but it worked anyways. If he was at a little bit lower percent, I think he just lived.
There is one reason I did that down smash, and it was not for like anything to do with winning. Before the game, I was talking to my opponent, and I said down smashes were cool, and they were like, "No, you'll never hit one." So I had to prove a point.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, you beasted on him. That was sick.
Yeah. Some of my options, I will admit, I know are not optimal.
Yeah.
But that's like how I like to play.
That makes sense.
I just sometimes unoptimal things just work better against some players.
Yeah, my unoptimal thing is rollout, so I definitely understand you on that one. Well, that is way more troll than down smash. Okay. Again, you put yourself on the ledge when you're when Falco was invincible, so it's very scary because you potentially should just die here, especially for fairing in. Good smash guy in so you don't die. Go for another weak fair type of situation.
Yeah.
Most of these weak fairs, I would just replace them with. In this spot, there was no reason to weak fair. If you expected him to lay on the ground here and you were trying to whiff punish this, why not whiff punish him with grab? You know, instead of going for like weak fair here. So you'd probably just wave dash forward after it because you misspaced your landing a little bit slightly off. Honestly, nothing really too wrong about misspacing it by that little, for sure. But yeah, again, weak fair, there's nothing that combos there, so you just get hit. So yeah, if you're whiff punishing that and you don't want to click grab because you think you misspaced it, so you can't actually just grab right away, or you can't have enough time to wave dash forward, then just doing the short hop auto cancel back here is really good. Yeah, this was the pound in the corner that you should have just died for. Yeah, this is like a really like bad habit that every puff goes through when they start playing, so it's literally like nothing to be wrong about. Just try not to go for this. Because best case, most of the time you're just hitting crouch cancel and they still get this up smash. So
what aerials should I do there?
You can just okay, so you have like you got all your jumps back after the throw, so you have all your jumps. Yeah. So I would just be drifting here because I don't want to cross up Falco, right, and just get back here. So that's what So I'm drifting here. Either if Falco commits at me, let's say Falco doesn't, just keep sitting there and trying like being in crouch. I would just like turn around back air and then just drift away, and there's nothing they can do. There's literally no air. They have to side B off stage to hit me, right? Like like that's their best option. So like you could just keep turning around back airing, and if they want to take 1 billion damage, they can. But realistically, they don't want to take 1 billion damage. So either shield, so you can grab ledge and refresh your jumps, and keep doing it, and just keep drifting away after the back air. Or they have to run away, or they have to jump away. So like, always they're gonna get like the ledge back. Sometimes they can try and like short hop down to the ledge on like specific timings, but like, let's say you like drift up and then like you can like do like a back air crossing them up after hitting their down air and land on stage, or do like a falling up air after their down air and potentially getting a kill off that too. So like all of those would be pretty good. Or if they up tilt the ledge, then you can pound it. That's the only time you want to ever pound, but. The thing is, you aren't, like, when you're landing in these type of situations with fair or pounds, you're not, like, mixing up your timings in terms of, like, how many jumps you use and, like, when you go in. So that's why the Falco knew to up smash here. Like, this was a hard read, whereas, like, they could have sat in crouch and done the same exact thing and then reacted to the up smash. So, like, that's how you know that your landing's too predictable if they're going for a hard read on you. But yeah, if you make your timings unpredictable and they go for like an up tilt because they're used to like, let's say this timing and then you're outspacing and then pounding, and that would be the only time I'd ever pound over back here.
Yeah. Okay.
Or up here. Okay. Again, you're late to punish Falco overcommitting here, so you can just land shield. Land grab. I feel like you never really wave dash out of shield too much in like when you get hit on shield, more about like when you're not getting hit on shield. I don't know if it's like uncomfortable like situations or like you just like haven't practiced a lot, but this is definitely a pretty prime spot. I don't have the
situation recognition yet.
Yeah, this is a pretty prime spot to do it because they're gonna jab your shield like every time, and most of the time when you wave dash, it'll just duck under the jab anyways, and you just wave dash out shield, turn around, grab after they jab. That's really good. That's like that situation's more about a high percent thing. Sometimes again they could have like gone for like a down air reading your wave dash back and that would lose, but at least playing a mix up most of the time is better than just sitting in shield. Or it could roll like inwards too as well. Okay, so this invincibility is like definitely okay. I assume you just try to up air there. I'm just trying to see if like you need the up air at all there. You whiffed, you messed up your up air. That makes sense. Yeah, if you hit this up air, you can just definitely link this into a grab. But because you whiffed, you had to go for up air again, and you just got no smash. So again, that's like a big thing in terms of your tech skill, in terms of your up airs. It's really important. Yeah. Obviously, you haven't down aired at all this game, so I don't know how your down airs
Yeah.
look, but since you said they were bad, then I would definitely work on them too.
Yeah, that's one of the newer things I've been working on. It's down airing. Just I feel like that's the best shield pressure I have right now.
Yeah, it's like down air shield poke is just like insanely good if you against every single character. So and it's really important. And obviously when you can link multiple down airs, and that's like advanced like down air.
I use it a lot in the Samus matchup. So I unfortunately have to play that matchup a lot. So that's like where I've been learning to use it. It's not bad, you know. It's called. I enjoy neutral game, you know. I can play 6 minutes of neutral with my friends.
Wow, that's crazy. We were just the same player. I do like neutral game. I just don't like Samus's neutral game. Maybe because I never played Samus in my region. But okay, so you go for a weak fair again out of the corner. In this spot, again, just like doing a short hop back air, or just going for a hard read up air. Even though it doesn't knock down, they still have to. They're putting enough stun that they have to choose an option. Like if they try and like land after getting hit by up air here, then they could potentially get grabbed if you like hard read their landing and then shielding, or if they jump out of it, you can just hard read their double jump with an up air again. Dash attack doesn't really make sense to go for when it's not gonna knock down. So before like, I think it's 30%. It's at least 30% versus Fox, so I assume it's around the same percent versus Falco. Usually most of the percentages for Fox and Falco are 1% difference. Like usually Falco is 1% more. Like up air knocks down to 18%, but against Fox it knocks down to 17. So that's really important. So yeah, don't do dash attack if it's not gonna knock down.
Yeah.
Back thrown. That was really, dude. It's actually crazy how like bad fair is, especially against Falco. It's like the most obvious one to see, like because you potentially just died again there. But see that, yeah, like that's what I was talking about in terms of pounding up tilt, was really good. I don't think you earned that pound with like your drift timings and spacings. It was just more about the Falco not really recognizing that you're just doing the same timing over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're gonna hard read a roll like this or even react, you should just be reacting. Grab or rest for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why you S-smash here?
Actually, no clue.
Yeah. So my guess is that you realized that you messed up, so you wanted to cover yourself with an S-smash. Is my guess. If you ever like feel like whenever you messed up, you are gonna get hit, or like, I assume that's just what happened. Whenever you mess up,
I feel like there's a possibility that F tilt was supposed to be that F smash.
And you just went for the S smash again.
When I do my F smashes, I just smack that stick back and forth, which I know is absolutely terrible, but
okay, yeah,
it's like the fastest and most consistent way I can get up my F smash in like a situation like that.
Yeah, so like I definitely assumed this F tilt was an S smash in the first place, but this second S smash, like, I'm trying to think of why. Like in my head, the only thing that makes sense is you knew you messed up, and you were like, I need to cover myself with a move. Instead, you should probably be covering yourself with a roll, almost always, or a shield. Is basically how the game works. Is Puff doesn't have shine. If Puff had a shine, then this would be like a shine spot or something like that. Okay. Again, the short up pound, I just don't really like it that much, but it does work in these types of spots. If they up tilted, then I would have liked this pound, but because they didn't up tilt, I don't really like it. Definitely would have just back aired here, and that would have been fine. Also, I feel like sometimes you just like aren't recognizing like the move will knock down, so you can't actually get the next hit. Like this pound will just like always knock down, and you can't get like a falling up air here. That's just like how do I describe it? It's like if you aren't like keen on like your combo game, this type of stuff won't really happen. So I would just probably practice in like Uncle Punch combo training a bunch and just seeing like when moves will knock down based on percents in terms of like pound and like tech chase sequences. Like at lower percent,
I know I abuse pound up air. I shouldn't even say abuse because it's not amazing. I know I do it a lot though because I went into Uncle Punch and I just found out, oh, up throw pound up air and up throw up air pound. Like you can just kind of keep juggling them, and I really enjoy Puff's like vertical combo game. So that's probably what I was going for. It's just keep them in the air, keep pounding and up airing them. But yeah, that's too low.
Yeah, most of the time, like, until, before, like, maybe 60% or, like, 50%, this pound up air will never combo. So that's just, like, a combo recognition thing, so. But, you mess that up. I feel like you cover yourself with up tilt, the same thing I was talking about. Maybe you're scared of them taking in place or something and, like, hitting you with shine. But, like, even then, if they, like, tech in place shine, this up tilt wouldn't hit. So, again, that's just a buffer rolls type of sequence if you think that they're going to tech in place here. They don't, but that's just more of a habit. Okay. I don't know what you tried to do there. I don't know if you tried to, like, waveland back or something.
It looked like I did a turnaround, but I just panicked, like, halfway through it. I was gonna go turn around back here.
Let's watch it again. Okay, you jump, and then you just, like, air dodge backwards. I assume that has to be a waveland. Huh. So, like, if I'm ever full hopping and my opponent is cornered, I'm only clicking full hop up air or full hop back air if they're at really high percent. Those, like, the only two things. I'm never doing, like, a full hop, double jump, waveland back is, like, the only thing I can think of. Like, that really happened. If you were trying to turn around, I don't know, like, how you got a full hop then. But, if you were trying to turn around, even then, you were still facing Falco, so you didn't really have to turn around. Like,
I did my turnaround on the ground. That's like where I fucked up.
Let's see. Yeah, you turned around here and then, yeah, that's a really weird mistake. Then I have no idea what. I've never seen that. So.
Could also be nerves because this was I'd say my most important set of my career so far.
Okay, that does make sense. Why you did like the weird air dodge.
I usually don't have nerves, but I knew there was a chance I could beat this dude, so
yeah,
I got nerves.
It's definitely like if you haven't been in the same spot over and over again, then you just will have nerves in these type of situations. So it's definitely I don't follow you for that then. Okay. Okay, I don't really like this up air because he was in shine lag, and like realistically, this up air won't catch him still because you're doing it from the ground. If you're already in the air trying to like read a double jump when Falco is in the air, then yeah, it'll kind of hit. But if you're doing it from the ground, Falco is just too fast for this. But this up air was actually pretty crazy that it worked. I thought that Falco should be able to get a laser out here. So instead of doing this, which somehow worked, I'd probably just be double jumping in this spot, waiting for Falco to throw out the laser, then doing it. I think he got really lucky here. Basically, that the laser didn't come out. So, there's that. Were you trying to react here or read, do you know?
Read.
Okay, read.
100% looks like a read.
Yeah, that makes more sense for sure.
I think I know where I faulted here, because I was watching solo battle videos before this set, and I was like, tech roll away, I'm gonna down air rest him. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty swag for sure.
There's a down air edge cancel.
Yeah, but there's... Dude, some of those videos definitely, like, fry your brain in terms of, like, they look cool, but, like, sometimes it's just really impractical to go for.
Oh, yeah.
It just makes more sense to just go for a standard tech chase rest here. Definitely against, like, whenever you get, like, this type of, like, up air, and you just instantly jump, you should be able to react to... I think you're also late on that up air again, too. In terms of either the L cancel, a fast wall, or acting out of it. So that's just, yeah, again, that's probably the biggest thing I've seen from this set so far. And then you could definitely just double jump and just rest the misdeck on reaction for sure. You didn't have to like hard read this. This would be another type of like grab that I don't really like. I do like that you actually went for the pound, miss pound, and then try and grab out of it again. So that's again probably why this doesn't work. If you didn't go for the pound and just like drifted back and then grabbed, this would have worked. But once you whiff the grab, I don't really like going for grab again. So whiffing grab is weird. Against most characters, I like holding down after whiffing grab and then trying to crouch cancel whatever they do after. But because of Falco's down air, you can't really do that against Falco. So what I would do instead after whiffing this grab, I would probably jump away or wait. You can't really wave dash back based on spacing, so I would probably just jump away and then wait for them to mess up here and just like hit them with a falling up air and then get my combo. But you get a double shield grab, which again, risk reward wise, in like theory, it's not the worst to do this, but like I don't like doing it as like, I don't like ever saying that you should do this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Really good hard read there. Sometimes hard reads are really good against Falco, for sure. That's like the best thing you can do. So I liked it a lot. But I would definitely, they would say in terms of percentage and when you should hard read, when you should not. I'd probably say like it's 30% hard read, or maybe even 20% hard read and 80% like just staying on stage trying to react in those type of sequences. Okay. You see how you just like have no chance to ever die in these type of sequences if you like either, even like being in center stage and getting tech chased, potentially you could die like if they guess right 100 times or like perfectly tech chase you, rather than being on the ledge where you get down to once and you just instantly die. So I definitely liked it this time you're in stage when you they're invincible. But you went for a weak fair again, so that was not good.
Yeah.
Okay. Pounding before 5% when it knocks down doesn't really make any sense. So that's a big thing. I also do, again, I don't really like the short out pound anyways. I have no idea why you tried to drift him back here after whiffing the pound. Whenever you whiff a pound, you should definitely just be like hoping that you get away. So either air dodging away if you have no time, or like trying to like air dodge the ground, or trying to roll away or put yourself in shield. You pretty much never want to get like an attack out after whiffing a pound. Okay, another breast out shield for free. So this spot maybe you don't want to, because like you put him at 40% and you die for it, so it's like not the best, because then you lose the ability to maybe get like an up throw rest. But like even then 40% is really good
to rest in this set.
Yeah.
He has like one of the best rest punishes like in the entire state. And I know if I let him get that like initial down air or that shine on me, he'll hit me with 40% or just kill me. So I really tried to avoid that, but I'm up here, so I should.
Yeah, you should definitely just click it here, because 40 damage is really good. As like it's just a general thing, because then up air knocks down, and that's really good, and then back air knocks down too, so back air, miss tech, and rest is just really good. So yeah, I definitely think that if you clicked like rest out of shield on any of these like F smashes, then that would be really good.
Yeah.
Because obviously Nair is just never gonna work. You could also up smash out of shield if you don't want to rest, but because it's not even gonna knock down either. It's just the same thing as clicking Nair, basically. This was an insanely ambitious pound. I'm surprised it worked. What would happen instead here is that they would just run off the platform down at you instead of doing this F smash and just hit you for this. So again, just pounding from like disadvantage is not very good. So yeah, I assume this is why you have the habit of like pound up air. Again, if this was on the ground when you did this pound like earlier, it would knock them down and you not be able to get this up air. That's like the only reason you got this one. And the up air actually didn't even knock down either, which is crazy. And these types of ambiguous situations, whenever you think your tech, your move will actually not knock them down into a tech sequence, I'd probably just try and default, just like try and grab them instead of trying to go for a dash attack, because they will try and shield if they aren't going to be knocked down by in a tech sequence almost every time, or they'll spot dodge, in which case, okay, I lost a mix-up, but if I dash attack, I'm just not beating either of those.
Yeah.
Or trying like back air. Back air is the same exact thing. So. Okay, again, you try and fair in, really scary. I actually do like going for a hard read rest here. This is really good, but I think you could have just. No, I don't know if you could have rested this on reaction. I think it was very close. I don't think you had enough time. So yeah, I like the hard read rest here. You could also do a Waveland F smash, or like Waveland to his tech and then rest. That might have been more consistent in theory. Harder to execute, but
like Waveland grab would be really good here, right?
Yeah, Waveland grab also, but if you're hard reading it, you should just like go for a Waveland rest. Whereas like usually a Waveland onto the platform grab is a 50-50 type of situation. You're 50-50ing whether they are going to tech in place or not, with a Waveland grab on reaction. So it's like different than going for a Waveland hard read rest. Two Saint does this a lot in the Falco matchup. I don't really do it because I think I'd rather just be less like crazy and just go for a double jump rest like you do. I don't know if it's technically more consistent or not, but because you had low jumps, I think it's probably more consistent to go for a Waveland. Okay, you're trying to weak fair again. Not great. This would be another situation where I'd want to reset my jumps, like right here. Instead of like double jumping, back airing all the way to center, I would be sitting on the platform, jumping back into this spot with full jumps, and then I can weave around this laser timing and hit him with the back air, right? Or falling up there like you did earlier. So those are like both like just way better. Also, attacking from this far away is pretty rough in terms of like, even like the worst player possible should be able to react from you back airing all the way to center from like starting here and Falco's over here. You basically have no threat for so long. The fact like the closest they can get hit by like a back air is like right here, and you start attacking them from like right here. So like there's pretty much no way that they are going to miss a reaction here and being able to just whiff punish you. And you have no jumps right now. You get locked on the ground. Worst place to be in. You actually get a nair here somehow. I don't recommend jumping when a character is this close and trying to aerial, because of Puff's jump squad is just worse than every other character. But because of Falco's jump squad being the same as Puff, so this kind of works. But I still don't really like it. I think this is great. This is like really lucky. If they also lasered in place here instead of jumping forward and trying to down air you, the laser in place would just knock you out of the air, put you back on the ground, and you're just back and score one. So I don't really like this nair intuitively. Also, it doesn't knock down either. So, and that was like your best option too, because nair is fast. So, okay, so you actually outspace outside of down air range. Really good. So you drift back on the snare outside of down air range, but you put yourself in shield for some reason. This one was really weird why you put yourself in shield. There was like...
Yeah, it's a landing habit.
Yeah, I think this is probably from like playing against Fox or something. You're scared of getting up smashed intuitively, is my guess. Yeah, but like I'm saying, like Falco's dash speed is just so slow that this like could never hit you, right? So this should have been really good if you just grabbed right here instead of going for a fair. It's crazy. You probably could have still shield grabbed that too, even with putting yourself into shield, because of how much time you have after an auto cancel. Whereas all the other times you put yourself into shield and tried to shield grab, it was either after a missed pound or after like a whiffed up air. So you were in either a lot of lag or L cancel lag. This time you're in auto cancel lag, so there's no lag. It's really good. Okay. You tried to go for a fair. So you outspace again, but you aren't reacting this time. You were just going for a hard read on their timing, which doesn't make sense. Like I'm saying, if you're going to be sitting outside of their threat range, you should be trying to grab them, or on reaction, never on like hard read. And if you're reading, then you have to wait until your read is actually confirmed. Okay. This fair doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to figure out what it was really accomplishing. I do like to jump off the platform, but it's pretty scary in this spot. So I was talking about how I like to use the platform to like jump off and attack. When Falco has center, it's a little bit weird because like either you want to double jump away trying to get Falco to commit at you with a down air and trying to like up air them for it, or you want to try and like sit on the platform for a second, shield drop up air, expecting to like jump onto the platform for the nair or down air. Or if they are just going to be content with like trying to up tilt you or something, shield drop like up airing, or shield drop down airing the up tilt, or shield drop trying to grab them shielding after an up tilt, or like trying to shield drop back air them trying to take space on you is like are the options. Whereas like jumping off the platform when they have center is like not really like ever going to work. That's like a general rule of thumb versus every character whenever they have the center on you, is you either want to get them to commit on you so you can get back into like a reasonable like good neutral position and potentially get center again, or you want to backer them away and put them in shield and then like either get a really good mix up on them or just like make them scared of you so they just stop trying to get onto the platform again. Speaking of the platform is just horrible. Okay, never Gettup Attack versus Falco. I don't know if it was probably just because you landed on the platform and then you didn't realize you landed on the platform and then you try and like go for like a back air or something, and that's probably what happened. But As a rule of thumb, just never get Attack versus Falco. It just doesn't work frame data wise. Down air just goes through it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in these type of situations, never try and like fair like Falco running off the platform, as I assume is what you were trying to read. With if you're gonna hit this, you either land outside the range and grab, or you try and like back air it and space it so there's no way you can ever like you don't want to be like at this height trying to hit this with a back air. You always want to be like this height if you want to try and back air or fair this. And I still think that back air is better just because you lose less height. And it's you're putting less lag essentially, and you have the ability to drift away a lot easier with it. So you whiff. Never whiff a move below top platform when Falco is up there. Basically, it's like a huge blanket rule. Whenever you're in this type of situation, you just want to get out of it as soon as possible. You can't ever really up air here. Technically, if there's invincibility, you have invincibility and Falco does not, you can up air here because you don't risk anything. But if you don't have invincibility, I don't like going even for an up air here. You kind of have to, basically how the up air works in this matchup is you have to hard read their jump with an up air as they're jumping, or you have to falling up air them as they're falling so you can beat their down air. Or it's like the only 2 times you can up air in this matchup. And even then, in this spot, you can't really predict if they're going to fall onto you, because they can just like waveline onto the platform like Puff does, and just waveline down, and then you just do a falling up air here, and they just down air you after it, and they just hit you. And potentially you die right now, because you're almost at kill percent to like down air F smash. So that would be really bad. Okay. Get away, you put yourself in a shield. You pretty much have never buffer roll in this set, so definitely buffer rolling when close is really important against Falco. Because like you don't really have a lot of options when you put yourself in a shield in general. You try and pound in the corner again. If you're gonna pound when you're covering to get height, you want to pound away so you have no risk of getting hit, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, you get hit for the pound. Good land edge there. There was nothing else you could have done. Okay. It's fair inwards again with a back air here, or just try to play it even slower and not try to get back to center so quickly. But you get a falling up air here, which is crazy, but you put yourself in shield and you like miss like the opportunity to actually get this rest. I think you might have still had time to actually get this rest too. But yeah, that's like literally if you had that down, like this game would be like a 3-stock, or probably, especially if you rested out a shield every time that they have smashed your shield, it would probably be a 3-stock. Like that's even before implementing any of this neutral stuff. So like definitely that's like the biggest thing from this game. Let's see, look at my notes, see if I missed anything.
I still don't know how this missed.
Yeah, this was definitely just because you had like no time and they were able to jump out of it before then. Okay, let's see. Yeah, no, I don't have anything else. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, well, I hope that helped. And
definitely.
I hope you have a good rest of your week.
Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Hope you have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Peace.